What is going on, guys? I finally made it. Finally got back to doing 2 live streams in one day. This will be the beginning of getting back on track. The last few weeks I've been after the Crawford fight, I told you guys I was a bit burned out, and so it's taken me a little bit while. I kept making content, I kept going live every day, but I hadn't been going live twice a day like I was doing up until the Canelo Crawford fight. But here we are. It's my second live stream of the day. I just uploaded my breakdown, prediction, and analysis of Fawaz versus Janai Boston. That's a rematch. We know how the first one played out, guys, in a draw. If you haven't seen my breakdown prediction, I just uploaded it. It's in my stats. It's in my fight prediction playlist. Stats don't lie, so check that out. You'll also find my Dave Allen prediction. He's fighting Arslan Akhmedov, and then obviously Jaron Ennis versus Usma Lima. I put my breakdown prediction up for that fight as well. And I'm also it's Thursday afternoon. I'm also going to be doing a couple more videos before the weekend. I'm going to get to the Josh Padley versus Reese Bellotti, and then possibly Alexis Barrera versus Guido Vianella, or I actually want to do Tamir Smalls versus Jose Roman Vasquez. So we'll see if I have time. The next one that comes out tomorrow, though, so make sure you hit the notification button. The notifications will just notify you whenever I either go live or I release a new video. Padley versus Bellotti will be up next. So that is that. If you look at the title of this video, we're going to build the parlay. We'll see how busy this one gets. I'll leave it on. Usually this morning we peaked at about 55 people on the live stream. If there's I'm going to wait till this heats up a little bit to kind of get to business. I am working with some new technology. So, the last few live streams I've been learning how to share screen. So that's fun. That's exciting on my end. And we'll get to that in a second. Guys, if you haven't joined Johnny Says Boxing Insider VIP membership, the link is right there pinned in the comment section below. It's a couple bucks a month. It gives you more accessibility on the live stream. It gives you featured video shout outs. Also, more importantly, you get access to our private VIP pro betting Discord. That community, we started it 3 months ago. It's an awesome community to be a part of. Going into today, we're at about 241 Discordians. So click the link, come join, come get access, and let's make this money. So right now, the fights that were kind of being offered on Sportsbet, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. There's 16 fights being offered on Sportsbet. And then let's see what Bet365 is offering. As you guys are tapping in, let me know where you're coming from. Make sure you like this video, hit a thumbs up. Let me know if you have any questions about the action this weekend in boxing. We got a lot of fights. The big ones are obviously, the biggest one is the return of Jaron Ennis. This will be Jaron's first fight at 154. He's taking on the IBO world champion, Usma Lima. This fight is in Philly. We know Lima's only loss is when he took on Aaron McKenna on 4 days' notice. He went up to 160 and lost the decision. So I know that Usma Lima is not a household name, but from the comments section on Instagram and reading a lot of the mainstream media boxing sort of Instagram pages, people think that Usma Lima is just a tomato can, that Jaron is just going to bulldoze him and walk him down. Lima is way better than you think. And if you don't know, watch his film study. He is a front foot fighter. He is an aggressive fighter. He's more similar to Stanionis than he is to any of Boots' more recent opponents. And so that's going to be interesting. He wants to get in a slug fight. He wants to get in a dog fight. He's also Boots' first southpaw. That's going to be interesting. So there's a couple firsts that we're gonna watch Saturday night. We're going to see Boots' first time at 54. We'll see how much that weight cut was actually killing him. You know what I'm saying? It's been well documented that making 147 was absolutely horrifying for him. All you had to do was look at his weigh-ins and look at his face. He looked gaunt. He looked drawn out. And so that being said, people were thinking that he's going to be more filled out at 54. He's going to carry the power up from 47 to 54, and we'll be watching it. We'll see how he deals with the weight class. Since we got the first question, Walk Vaughn, I'm gonna feature your question. All right. So give me a second. So Walk Vaughn asks an important question. While he does that, I'm gonna bring up the odds. So present, share screen. I'm talking myself through this. Sebastian Fondora, share. Okay, share screen, add stage, and here we go. All right, guys. So Walkvon asks me my take on Vianello and Barrera. I will be uploading my Stats Don't Lie video on it. I'm going to give you the odds right now. I'm going to tell you who I like. We talked about this a couple of days ago on our first live stream. So right now, Barrera is still the favorite, man. Alexi Barrera is the favorite. He's $1.82, meaning if you take Barrera right here on the money line, you get your money back plus 82 bucks. You put $100 on Barrera, you get your money back plus 82 bucks. Guido Vanilla is a $2.12 dog. 100 on Guido gets your money back plus 112 bucks. Look, the tape on Alexis Barrera isn't that good. You know, he's a Canadian fighter. He's coming off, I put the video up. I put his film study up in our Discord. There's not a lot to like about him. He looks good for about 30 seconds of each round. For the first part of each round, he looks technical. His shots are clean. He's accurate with his punches. But then from there, he starts to fall apart in almost every round. Also, you look at his resume. We'll do that real quick. Okay? Let's pull up the resume. He hasn't fought anybody. And so when I mix that with Vianella's pedigree, Vianella, he's an Italian, was an Olympian. We just saw Guido take on Kiki Torres. He wasn't victorious. He lost a decision. But Guido's the same guy who knocked out Arslanbek. Arslanbek is main eventing in the UK against Dave Allen. And Guido's not a big puncher. He's not a one-punch knockout artist guy. Guido's a big heavyweight. He's a slick heavyweight. He's crafty. And I think that he's going to eventually wear him down. I like Guido, to answer your question, Walkman. I like Guido as the underdog in this fight. Real quick. Just want to pull up Alexis's box rec so you guys could see it. Okay. Have a look at this real quick, boys. All right. So here's Alexis's box rec. 12-0, 10 knockouts. See, box rec, every time I share box rec screen, it acts suspicious. You see how it's frozen? This is why I don't really mess with box rec. So who's he beaten? You know what I'm saying? He's coming off a victory over Resendez. He's beaten Cassis, Mike Marshall. There really isn't any names that jump off the screen. You know what I mean? So, in my opinion, I'm going to go back here. In my opinion, I think they got it wrong. I think the odds are wrong on this. So, how's everyone else checking in? First time I catch a second stream, usually busy. Mateo in the house. I know you like Guido. Do you like anything on Alexis? The thing I like about Alexis, though, is his precision, his accuracy when he's cooking. Walkvon, you're welcome. I thought Guido could have gotten a nod against FA. And that's what I mean, too, boys. And you look at you just look at who Guido's fought. You know what I mean? Guido has been in there with some good guys. He's lost some decisions. And I think that the odds have it wrong. I mean, sometimes it kind of, when I see the odds the way they are in that fight, it kind of makes me second guess sometimes myself. I think that's kind of normal for what we do, because we're not just watching film study. And this is the whole chat. If you're new to the chat, we say welcome. But guys, this is an educated chat. This is an educated Discord. And so I'm not the only one giving my take. I'm liking the camera. But if you go to the Discord, man, this is the best part of being in that group, is that, you really get to pick the brains of some guys who put the work in. I was getting ready for bed last night at 8 p.m. here, because I wake up early, and I checked the Discord, and there's boys from Philly in the Discord at like 3 a.m. doing film study. I'm like, you guys, that shit was inspiring to me, to be honest with you. So yeah, stop sharing. Where are we at here? So I thought Guido could have gotten. In my opinion, they're building Alexis properly. Guido going down the Derevyanchenko route. Derevyanchenko, man, never been stopped. Derevyanchenko, in my opinion, is his like one of the toughest, most underrated guys in his era. You know, Sergey Derevyanchenko fought the best of the best. You know, wasn't always on top, didn't always come out victorious, but he never got stopped, right? Derevyanchenko was an animal. Chris B, don't do it, Chris B. Chris B, how dare you? I gotta highlight this comment because this is bad juju. Deechko versus Franklin. No way, man. Deechko and Franklin are like C-level, sort of YMCA club level guys. Guido Vianella is a legit boxer, man. He's high level. He's an Olympian. Guido has some class to him, man. Kiki Torres, if Kiki Torres fights Guido 4 years from now, I know they fought like a year ago. I think because Kiki's still so young. I think if Kiki would have fought Guido like 4 years from now, Kiki probably stops him. But dude, Deechko and Franklin, it's not going to be. That was talk about a horrible fight to watch, man. He also spars a lot with top guys. Visit Sportsbet app, view that. Stop sharing. And so, yeah, that's where we are. Hopefully we don't get a fight like that. What's up, Julius? Guido's allergic to inside fighting. Yeah, so, I mean, it just depends on what you like. Like I said with the tape, what I see on the tape is the fact that, let's pull the odds up again. Alexis Barrera looks great for like 30 seconds of each round. That's all I'm going to say. And then after that, he doesn't look good at all. He starts falling apart in each round. His technique starts falling apart. His shots start missing. He gets off on that front foot. At least Guido's allergic, so he's not going to inside fight. Don't inside fight him. Guido on the money line, $2.12. I mean, where's all the money at? So the money is coming with Alexis by decision. Man, have you guys seen Alexis's gas tank, guys? That's another thing. I think this is what, a 10-rounder? It's a 10-rounder. I like Guido. Guido, 6'6", 6'4". He has the height advantage, the reach advantage. They're about the same age. I mean, look who's he's fought. Share this tab instead. All right, this is who they fought. Let's get into this real quick. Let's go back to this. All right. Are you guys seeing this? I mean, the guy on the left, that's your boy, Julius. Resendez, Cassis, Marshall. Who are these guys? When you look at the records are even more shocking. I'm going to show you the records real quick. Yeah, every time I pull up BoxRec, by the way, it just totally crashes my browser. So I might have to keep that in mind. Okay, let's check this out. Resendez 13-1. Like, who are these guys? Guillermo Casas 10-3, Mike Marshall 6-4, 8-0, 14-2. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't think there's not a lot to like there. I got to be honest with you guys. So yeah, if anything, if you guys don't like it, maybe stay away from it. I like there's a couple fights that I really do like that I am definitely going to take action on. I like Guido in that fight, though. I'm not going to overthink it. I think Guido at plus money is a great pick. I got to be honest with you. Guido's allergic. Alexis, unknown at this level. Whole career is built off journeyman. Drove by your hometown on a road trip last. Brendan drove by Youngstown. Hopefully you didn't stop, mate. Alexis only has 12 fights. Who at 12 fights has a good resume? Nobody. Lomachenko at 12 fights. Didn't Loma fight for a world title in his second or third fight? And then from there, they were all like title fights. I mean, some guys who get expedited, you know what I'm saying? There's guys who get rushed. But you're right, for the most part in boxing, yeah, those first 12. But David, it's not like David, your point though. Your point though, David says who at 12 fights has a good resume? Nobody. But we're not talking about a 20-year-old heavyweight here. Alexis Barrera is 31 years old. He's 30 years old. So he's 30 years old with 12 fights. You know what I'm saying? So and the heavyweights are always a bit different. It's not like he has 35 pro fights, and then we're looking. So the point is, both guys are where they are. So both guys are fighting about the same age. Who has who has fought good opponents in their first 12 fights? That's not really the conversation though. The conversation should be who has had the stronger strength of schedule, right? Guido or Alexis? Guido hands down, mate. 100%. Even, just watch go to the Discord, TJ, and then I think it was maybe Breaking Bad shared Alexis's last fight. It was an 8-rounder. Not a lot of good stuff there. On my way to Cleveland. Yeah, good. What you doing in Cleveland? You catching a baseball game? Do I think Barrera and Vianello goes the distance? It kind of trends that way, doesn't it? I mean, if you look at will the fight go the distance? What's the see? I'm already going in, guys. You already know. I'm already going in on my money line bet. So Mar the Prince says. So let's acknowledge this question and let's play with the props a little bit. Just so you boys know, I'm going on the money line. I'm taking Vianella at plus money, $2.12. Other than that, the question is, does the fight go the distance? And then we could open that up and say, all right, does it go the distance? Does somebody get stopped? Is there a knockdown prop bet? That sort of thing. So will the fight go the distance? Yes, $1.52. I think so. But then again, I question Alexis's gas tank. But it's not like Guido. I mean, Guido stopped your boy. I mean, I'm sure there's some boys on the chat here that are taking Arslanbek to beat Dave Allen, and Guido stopped Arslanbek late, and we know that Arslanbek gasses out as well. Big giants like this, they throw everything into every punch, and then you end up getting stopped by a guy like Guido Vianella. So, will the fight go the distance? I actually think picking a yes or no. Like yes is $1.52. I'll give you a bigger screen there. So yes is $1.52. No is $2.45. I actually think that prop bet, will the fight go the distance, is riskier than taking either guy on the money line. You know what I mean? So if you like either guy, I would just do the money line route. I think Guido by decision would probably be my bet. If I wanted to get fancy, Guido by decision, $3.90. You know, $3. I mean, that's really good value, boys. 100 on Guido by decision gets you your money back plus $290. It's a 3-to-1. It's a 3-to-1 prop. I mean, you can't ask for much better than that, can you? You know what I'm saying? Like those odds are pretty goddamn good, especially when we're not just winging it. We're not just throwing Hail Marys. Even if I don't see Alexis stopping Vianello, by the way. You know what I'm saying? I don't see him stopping him. So if you like Alexis, and I also don't see Alexis outpointing him. I think, it's not shocking to, say that Guido's the more, I think Guido has the more class to his game. But there are moments. Alexis has his moments. He does. I only watched about 15 rounds of him. I watched his last 8-rounder and then half of the fight before that. And, there are moments in each round where I do like what I see. He's on that front foot. His guard stays here, and he's pretty accurate as well early on. He finds the home. A lot of his punches are landing. He doesn't move his head. He's not defensively sound. He doesn't, go in and out. He's not slipping punches. He's not bobbing and weaving. He's just staying there. And then you mix that. I kind of like Guido's style against him. I like his height advantage, his reach advantage. I like Guido's jab. So I think the matchup is all wrong for Alexis. I think if Guido was going to stand there and trade with him, I think Alexis would be better off if Guido was just going to stand in front of him and trade. I don't think he's going to do that. Chris B says, yeah, but if Barrera has a crappy gas tank and Vianello throws many shots. Exactly, Chris. No, you're exactly right. Chris B says if Barrera does have a suspect engine and Vianello throws many shots, why not pick Vianello by stoppage? Now, I already told you, $2.12 on the money line right here. I'm talking heavy. If I'm putting anything over $100 on this fight, boys, if I'm putting anything over $100, this is my bet. Okay? If I'm going $100 on, we'll say a 2-fight money line bet, it would be something like Guido, also Bilal Fawaz on the money line. This would be my bet together. Now, if I have like $10 or if I have $25, something a little smaller, my bet would then be, boom, Guido by knockout, $4.10. And you could tell, look, if you look here and look here, Guido by knockout and Guido on points is very similar. So what Chris B highlights, the bettors understand that as well. It's all going to come down to it, because peep game, isn't that crazy that Barrera is the favorite on the money line, and he's supposed to be the big puncher? But when you look at Barrera's chances of winning by knockout, they're at $5.30. Those odds are steeper than Guido's. What does that tell you? It tells you that we got a smart market. You know what I mean? It tells you at least. I don't think the money line is a smart market, but I think the options are a smart market. I think that's about right. The people who think that Alexis is going to outpoint Guido at 255, I think that's a trap. You know what I mean? I don't see money. It's weird seeing those odds right there. Do you guys see that? That means that more money is coming in on Barrera to outpoint Guido. I mean, have they watched tape? That means that they think that Alexis's volume is going to be more, and then Guido is going to, get outpunched by Barrera over 10 rounds. That's crazy to me, because you would think what I would think is the fact that because Barrera is the favorite, you would think, and his knockout to win ratio, you would think that Barrera's knockout, his method of victory would be by knockout. Piff's perfect parlays. I like Vianello in Canada. Alexis uses a smaller ring. Dwayne Styles. What's up, Dwayne? Hey, Johnny, I got training today at 6. I've been so busy with life, paying off school, so I can't come back in January. I've also been taking a break from social media. Dude, take your break, Dwayne. We appreciate you when you pop in, brother. It's all good. You're here. Guys, wherever you are in the world, I welcome you. I appreciate your support. However you can help me out, tuning in, commenting, liking this video. Give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, do that for me. Join the Discord. You see the boys with the green and blue stars. They are insiders. Here we go. This is a good question. Let's get into this. We got Mar the Prince in the house. Mar says, do you feel 3 months is too quick of a turnaround for Bilotti? Torn whether to take Pally by decision or stoppage. Let's get into it. Let's bring these odds up. Yeah, guys, this is my next upload. So my next Statstone live video is going to be my prediction of Padley versus Bilotti. Here's the money line. Padley's currently $1.32 favorite. 100 on him on the money line gets you $32. The draw 16-1. Reese Bilotti, $3.75 dog. 100 on him gets you your money back plus 275. So Reese is about a 3-1 dog. We just saw Reese Bilotti get stopped, guys. You know what I'm saying? We just saw him get stopped against Ryan Gardner. I can't believe it's been 3 months. It seems like it was literally a month ago. It's because, I don't know if you feel the same, Mar. It feels like they just fought. It feels like Gardner just fought. And I talked about it on my first live stream, and I've been this is one of these fights, these method of victories that I've been wrestling with regarding how does it end. You know what I mean? Because I still don't like how Bilotti was talking before the Gardner fight. He was on record saying that if he can't beat a guy like Ryan Gardner, he should just retire. And he was doing it a bit tongue-in-cheek, but he was also doing it before the fight positioning himself sort of in a hierarchy, like I'm better than Gardner. I fought the better competition. I'm more seasoned than Gardner. This is a guy I should beat. This is what he was saying. And he didn't. And it went 12 rounds and he got stopped. Do I think that it kind of makes me feel like they're cashing him out? And Julius and I were talking about it earlier on our first live stream. It kind of feels that way with the quick turnaround, because why not give Bilotti Ryan Gardner? You know what I'm saying? Like, when I read that, when I saw Matchroom tweeted it, when I went to Eddie Hearn's Insta and saw it on my Insta feed, I had to look twice. I got to be honest. I was like, is that a misprint? Isn't that supposed to be Padley versus Gardner? Because Bilotti retired. He just got stopped. So all in all, this is I've really we keep talking about that $10 bet, that $25 bet. I mean, you take Padley by stoppage at $4.50. I wouldn't be mad at you. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be mad at you. So I think that's where I'm going to go. I think, as I build my money line long parlay and I give it to everybody, the money line, I like Padley on the money line. I started off, this is what I always do at Fight Week, boys, and you'll know this if you're on my live streams. Every first live stream of the week, I always start favoring the underdogs, or because I need to work. It's a form of logical reasoning. It's a thing called deductive reasoning. Lawyers do it, investigators do it, journalists do it. I have to start here, and then I have to prove to myself that those odds are right. So Monday, I was thinking, are we overlooking Bilotti? Are people sleeping on Bilotti? Are we overhyping Padley? How's Padley getting a victory lap because he got stopped in 9 rounds against Shakur? Like, why are we? So that's where I started, and now it's Thursday afternoon, and now I'm here. And after more film studies, sitting with it for 4 days, talking to you boys, I like Padley to stop him. I think I'm going to take that bet. Here's what I like. So I put for a 2-leg method of victory, crazy odds. Don't go too heavy on it. But if you take Padley by stoppage, what was the other one? I like Bilal on the money line, but we're looking for a method of victory. There was one other one. I covered it earlier today in the live stream. Dave Allen. I like Allen. That Allen Makhmudov fight is now 50-50. Tamir Smalls, that wasn't it. Guido Vanilla, Ennis. I think it might have been Ennis over 7.5. Total rounds, round market, total rounds in fight, that one. So this is something that I really like. And that's paying out $8.50. So we add that on a ticket. $100 gets you your money back plus $795. So it's almost 8-1. Padley by knockout and Ennis over 7.5. I'm not gonna lock that in, but that's something I've been flirting with. That's something I've been thinking about. So let me get caught up here. Dwayne Styles, you have my shirt. Have a good night, Dwayne. Pedro Padley is really good. I think he's world level. They signed this fight like a month after the Gardner fight. They did. Yeah. Did anybody else think it was weird though? Did anybody else think that it was weird that they signed Reese for this fight? You know what I'm saying? Only because when you're trying to promote a guy, right? When you're propping a guy up, you want momentum. You know what I'm saying? You want to create momentum. So Padley's coming off a victory. It's not like he fought in April. He fought Marcos Vetnovich, and he won by knockout. You know, he dropped him twice in the 5th round. So it's April, May, June, July, August, September. 6 months later, why are you fighting a guy coming off a loss? Why is he fighting a guy coming off a loss? I would have liked to see Gardner versus Padley. That's what I thought would have made sense. I think they are cashing Reese out. I mean, probably setting up a parlay Gardner 5-on-5 fight. Yeah, there's rumors about a 5-on-5. Christian George. All right, boys, sell me on this. Somebody talk to me on why Jaron Ennis stops Lima early, because yeah, why how does you guys think that? So Christian George says, I'm scared Boots stops him early. Boots is scary. Answer me this. Is Jaron Ennis a one-punch knockout guy? It's not like Ennis. He has a lot of knockouts, a high knockout to win ratio. So when I hear early, I think he's referring to the over and under, because I like Boots at $1.90 over 7.5. So I think that's the number I'm going to use. But early, you're right. Early might mean Christian. How early? Before 4? Do you think he stops him before 4? Let's go alternative round. All right. Under 5.5 is 288. This might be interesting. Somebody sell me on this. Here we go. Under 5.5 is 288. So if you keep on this ticket, if you keep Padley by knockout and under 5.5 for Boots, it's 12-1 odds. That I don't like that pick. I like over 7.5 for Ennis. I just think that Lima, I think he's better than a lot of people think. And Boots isn't a one-punch knockout guy. His power is more volume. His power is more cumulative. And you got to remember, it wasn't like Stanionis was knocked out cold. Stanionis' corner stopped it. And you know what I'm saying? So they saved him. And that you know why? Do you remember early? He was just getting guys. He was getting guys who were quitting. They would just quit in their corner. Remember that the Andrew Walters fight? And it's like, I think Andrew Walters came into that fight like, what, 34, 35-0, I think. And he knew like 4 rounds in, he couldn't do anything with him. You know, I think it was 4 or 5 rounds in, maybe some after that. It was years ago. But Loma was making guys quit, not because of his one-punch knockout. You just get to a point of fight where you're fighting a dude who's so skilled that you just make that decision. Like, I can't do anything with this guy. That's how good Loma was. People forget about that. Those early days of Lomachenko guys were special. I don't know if Loma ever truly got his flowers for what he was doing. What he did to Rugendow in, Sosa, some of those early fights, he was special, man. I remember when he became a pro, and I was hitting the bag. I remember watching an old school Instagram video of Lomachenko hitting the bag, and I remember thinking to myself, I'm never hitting the bag again. I was like, that's it. I'm never posting any boxing video ever again. I'm never hitting the bag. I was looking at a kid who was so technical and so profound in his skills that he makes everything that everyone else does look amateur. And people forget about that. Lomachenko is, so my point is, Boots' power, it's thudding, it's more powerful than Loma's power. He could crack in both hands. He just kind of overwhelms people and he breaks you down. He starts getting off to the body too, and he starts switching stances. He starts psychologically breaking you. But I mean, guys, he's never fought a southpaw, really, and he's never fought at 154. Lima's a big dude, man. He's probably going to come in there weighing at least, this fight's at 54, Lima's fought at 60. You got to think, if you're looking at the stare downs, Lima's probably going to be weighing, I mean, at least what Boots is going to be weighing. And usually Boots, come fight night, is always 15, 20 pounds heavier than his opponent. And so Lima is a front foot fighter, to answer your question. Lima is a guy who wants to be in a dogfight. He fights off the front foot. He doesn't really have the greatest head movement, but he puts the pressure on you, and he's going to force Jaron to fight. So that does kind of play into a narrative. He is going to be there to get hit. We're going to see how Jaron deals with the pressure. I fully expect Lima to come out early and set a pace and force Jaron to fight him. So we'll see. I don't know, man. When I'm watching more and more of Ennis, I'm watching his highlights, guys. I think Matchroom just shared this montage. I'll put it up in a second. The way Ennis punches, it doesn't scream early knockout to me. You know, he slaps a lot. Jaron slaps a lot. Bro, go look at Boots' last two fights. He power pegs people don't want to punch with him. I've watched every Boots fight, mate, Rio. I've watched every Jaron Ennis fight I've watched. I think he fights better on the front foot. Boots has fast hands. He has hurt guys to the ear. Yeah, hand speed's amazing. All the gifts. Hand speed, reflexes, switches stances, has a great ring IQ. He can make adjustments. He could fight you on the outside. He could fight you on the inside. He has a great uppercut. I actually like Boots in the pocket. I like Boots from Southpaw more, by the way. I talked about this on my last breakdown. When he's at range, I like Boots from orthodox at range. He's more active with his jab at range, I feel, from orthodox style. But the way how tricky he is in the pocket with his uppercut from Southpaw, I really like when he does that. And it'll be all these little adjustments or all these little decisions he makes. Oh my God, Lima got me a few times. He's very good. I like Boots knockout 7-9. Okay, so yeah, the play for me, other than the money line, is what you just said. I like the over. The over 7.5 is my bet. I like the over 7.5. Boots is my cousin. Love the content. Nice, man. No, I've been covering, yeah, Snoop, Eagles Nation, Philly in the house. Yeah, I've been covering Jaron. I've been covering Jaron, guys. You can check receipts. Before Jaron signed with Matchroom, I was doing videos talking about Bozy and Jaron, and the thing that they need to do, where Jaron's shortcomings were at the time was a promoter. And I was like, this dude has all the skills in the book. He has the fight IQ. He has the camp. He has the pedigree. I was like, but he's not like, some fighters are just fighters. Some fighters don't want to sell fights. Some fighters are introverted. Think about like a Bam Rodriguez, same sort of thing. You don't see Bam on the mic selling fights. Not everybody wants to do that. Not everybody can do that. And this is why a good promoter, a good marketer is important in boxing. This is why when people try to trash these promoters, you need promoters, mate. And look what Eddie has done since Jaron signed with him. This will be his third or fourth fight in Philly, selling that arena out, getting all of his boys from Philly on the undercard, getting them stage time. And you mix that with Boots' promotional company, he gets a little piece of the pie too. And his career's really taken off. So it's interesting to go to Instagram and read all these comments about Boots hasn't fought anybody. He's dogging. He's dodging this guy. You turn this guy down. I'm like, dude, give him some time, man. You got to understand it. It's unfair to compare him to Bud. How old's Jaron? Is Jaron 27 years old? Crawford's 38 years old. Crawford didn't get his breakthrough until he was 35 years old, right? He fought EJ when he was 35. My point is, people are always going to hate. Jaron Ennis is that dude. You know what I'm saying? And he just keeps on winning, keeps on doing what he does. He's going to be the face of American boxing. And I'm just interested to see, though, when he fights, I tune in. We'll see what happens. Morris says, I think people underrate Chukachin. He isn't even getting proper mention in the current 47 landscape. Plus, I think American black fighters tend to have troubles with Eastern Bloc style. Mar the Prince, man, Karen Chukachin is a nightmare to deal with, man. He is a very tough problem to solve in the ring. He's a guy who uses the entire ring. And this is why, he fought 24 rounds with Ennis, and Ennis couldn't get him out of there. And if you watch the second fight, Chukachin's the one who made adjustments. The first fight, he ran a little bit, he wasn't engaging a lot, but the second fight he was. The second fight, what he had done was he minimized his exit points. In the first fight, he was exiting too much to where he was out of range to counter and he was out of range to punch, and he was just using the ring and he was making Ennis come to him. But the second fight, there were a few moments where he was frustrating Jaron because he would counter him. He would catch him with the counter. He wasn't exiting as far as he was in the first fight. So you go 24 rounds with Jaron Ennis. You got some skills, man. People aren't talking about him probably because they can't pronounce his name. And two, he's a goddamn problem. You go, who wants that problem? It's the same thing one of you boys brought up, Sergey Derevyanchenko. I know Derevyanchenko's old now. Nobody wants to fight that guy. These guys who come in with these complex skill sets or these very sort of like unique problems to solve, every guy who would rather have a dude to stand right in front of him. Like Stanionis, tailor-made for Jaron Ennis. You know what I mean? Tailor-made. That's what we want. A guy who's athletic, a guy who could switch stances, a guy who could take a shot and give a shot with the speed. That style, if it was up to Boots, everybody he would fight would be like Stanionis. And the crazy thing is, Lima has that style. He's just going to be bigger. He's just going to be bigger. Breaking Bad in the house, taping Boots Lima right now. Sup, boy? Get on your tape work, brother. Get on your tape work. Breaking Bad in the house. Guys, if you haven't followed my guy, follow Nick Breaking Bad. He breaks fights now, does an amazing job. Give him some love. Give him some support. Go like his page. Go follow him and subscribe. Snoop, Eagles Nation. My man says, absolutely. I'm still waiting on some of the current 47 contenders to hop in the ring with Chukachin. I'd like to see how they do. 100%. For sure. I mean, who we got? We got the champions at 47. Lewis Crocker is a world champion, guys. Lewis Crocker is a world champion at 147. Mario Barrios, your boy Brian Norman Jr. And I got so much going on. My point is, since Boots left 47, Brian Norman Jr., Rolly Romero, Mario Barrios, and Crocker. Those are the four champions, right? I think Chukachin would have. I think Chukachin would give, any of those guys a fight. I think Stanionis. I would probably take Stanionis over Crocker. I would probably take Stanionis over. I'd love to see Stan versus Raleigh. That would be a really fun fight. We're already getting Devin and Brian Norman Jr. I can't wait for that fight. There's some good fights coming up, gentlemen. And then what are we doing with Barrios? What's Barrios doing, boys? What are we doing with Barrios? It's kind of, I think Barrios I don't know what to make of Mario Barrios, guys. Like, he frustrates me, man. I'm trying to be diplomatic. He frustrates me. I respect, he's a nice dude, professional guy. He just frustrates me. 147, it needs some turnover. Julius says the only attribute Lima has is his toughness. Lima was just a street guy with no future that decided to pick up gloves to save himself. Boots was born and bred to become a world champion. Yeah, that's called pedigree, my man. No, that matters. That matters. Julius, that definitely matters. TBE Boxing, I would also love to see Karen fight some of these fighters. 100%. Karen is a dog, man. Karen Chukachin's a beast. Barrios versus Garcia. I don't want, I'm just going to highlight that. Call me old-fashioned. Call me old-fashioned. Call me a hater. If we're talking about Ryan Garcia and not Elijah Garcia, jokes. Elijah, different weight class. Ryan, you don't lose a fight to Raleigh and get a world title fight. You know what I'm saying? I hope that's not the case. If anything, give Ryan Garcia Polanco? I want to see Ryan Garcia in a tough ass dog fight. I don't want to see him walk into a world title fight against Barrios. He shit Giasov. Nobody talks about Giasov either. We covered Giasov on the channel in his last fight. It seemed like it was 40 years ago. I think Giasov fought 7 months ago. I think Giasov versus Garcia. Garcia shouldn't get a world title fight. He should fight one of these guys. Who am I thinking of? Is it Rohan Polanco, right? 147. I get confused with Polanco and the kid at 54. Yeah, no, Polanco. Give Garcia Polanco, see what time it is. You know what I'm saying? Does anyone know if Garcia's on his last fight with GB? I'm not sure, man. I've been seeing Garcia doing a lot of content with the ring, giving terrible takes. Ryan Garcia's an Instagram model. And I agree, Julius. That's why I don't want to see him fight for a world title, a legit strap. I think that it's going to be fitting that Garcia retires, never becoming a world champion. And like, once again, Max Kellerman, man, go back to where you came from, bro. I like Max 1.0. I don't like Max 2.0. Max Kellerman been given some awful, horrible takes. He was talking some crazy shit recently about the full compare this dude. Max Kellerman compared Sugar Ray Leonard, Duran, uh, Hagler, and Hearns, the four kings. He tried comparing those guys to like Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, Shakur, and Tank. And I'm like, dude, we need to just change the names. Don't you people? I don't think people realize how the dog mentality was different in that era. Not even comparing fighter to fighter, the world was different in that era. We're talking about high testosterone versus low testosterone people. Look at the photos, mate. You know what I mean? Roberto Duran would have probably Roberto Duran would have probably bodied a couple of these fools up, like, on his like Subaru Matias type shit. Like those guys didn't have holes in their game. Those technically, I don't know if it's a coaching issue. I don't know what's happened in the advancement of strength and conditioning, but the degradation of technique. But fighters these days, when you look at the technical side of things, keeping your hands up, having a defensive minded guard, but punching with a guy, counterboxing. People these days, there's so many holes. Could you imagine Ryan Garcia with the holes in his defense trying to punch with Roberto Duran? What are you talking about? Thoughts on Fulton Foster? We'll get there. Fulton Foster, that's coming, Andresa. Fulton Foster's coming. Right now, I like Shock. It's hard for me to bet against Shock right now. I know Stephen Fulton's the more popular pick at the moment, coming off a huge victory over Figueroa. But I mean, Shock is my guy. I think Shock is the cleaner guy, the classier guy. I think Shock has the deeper bag. Polanco's going to get folded exactly how Damas beat Montiel. Guarantee it. You think Rohan's going to get folded against Garcia? I don't know, man. Chugachin fights this week. Get out of here. Karen fights this weekend. See? The lack of promotion, boys. We didn't even know. I didn't know Karen Chugachin was fighting this weekend. Not even on our bets. Not even on our odds. Nothing. Max the White Hope Kellerman. Some should have slapped Max when he made that comparison. Yeah. Max Kellerman is suspect, mate. Julius. If Haney beats Norman, he's a Hall of Famer. I mean, I think we talked about this? Didn't we talk about this 2 live streams ago, boys? How shocking, how shockingly impressive Devin Haney's resume is. Like, you guys can hate on him, you guys can do what you want, but as quiet, I'm gonna say an old saying we used to say in Youngstown, as quiet as it's kept, Devin Haney's resume is off the meat rack. Devin Haney's only 26 years old. This dude is only 26 years old. Devin seems like he's 39. He's only 26 years old. Look who he's beat. Look who my man has beaten at 26. Third, let the record say what the record says. I don't want to hear all, you know what's coming. The record is 32-0 with 15 knockouts. Jose Ramirez, former world champion. Regis Prograis, former world champion. Loma, former world champion. George, former world champion. Jojo Diaz, former world champion. Jorge Linares, former world champion. Was Gamboa? Was Gamboa ever a full world champion? So what do we got? 6 or 7 6 or 7 former world champions on that list? You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, say what you will. Say what you will about Dev, but dude, Dev's 26 years old. And we just listed off 6 or 7 world champions that he's beaten. So maybe he's already in the hall. You know, maybe Dev's already he definitely has he's only 26. I don't like ordaining guys at 26 Hall of Famers. I don't think it's fair to the game because you could probably cut that record in half. We know it's well documented. Half those fights were in Mexico before he turned 18. Do you guys follow Tommy Razor Renon? Shout out to Tommy Razor Renon. Tommy, I went live with him recently. He has a show with Paulie Malignaggi. in our live stream, Tommy and I, he was telling me a story about coming up there. It's a thing, and I think still to this day, he knows guys who have wins on their box rec against Colombian fighters who the fight never took place. The fight never took place. You know what I'm saying? So like half of like Dev's resume, I'll bring it up real quick. So there's two sides to every story, right? So yeah, Gamboa was unified. So 7. So Dev has 7 world champions on his resume. I mean, how many does Tank have? How many champions, guys? Here's a quick question, little FYI for you. How many current world champions, or how many champions has Tank Davis beat at 135? Tank's a 135er. How many former or any current champions has Tank beat at 135? 0. Never. That's an insane stat to me. Devin has 7 throughout his career. So like, no, that fight don't count. So on Haney's box rec, he has fights on the same day. This is, I can't believe they're happy to get away with this. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. Same day. I guess he was doing a round robin tournament out here. I guess Devin Haney was doing UFC style. November 11th, 1993. December 15th, we going to fight Gonzalo Rodriguez out here. we going to get a little victory. we going to fight his boy, too. Jose Iniguez, same day. Let's get a little 2-0 action up in here. Crazy. Fight don't count, don't count, don't count. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'll give him my... No, but then he goes back to Tijuana. 11, 12, 13. He fought again on the same day. What does he do? Right again. So he's done multiple days. Okay, hold on. So on January 17th, my man pulls up to Tijuana and was like, you know what, little homie? I feel like fighting today. We're going to fight Odion Rivera Meza, who's 5-19, and we're going to fight his boy, Daniel Valenzuela. And same day, dude. Put them in the ring at the same time. Let's get these victories. So there are already, these are some questionable fights on Haney's resume. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. All right, I will start at Philly. I'll give a Mario Tinoco onward. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So this is kind of like his 18th pro fight. You know, it's kind of like his 18th pro fight. I feel bad. I'm not one to be shitting on Devin, man. He's only 26. I'm an old ass man. I'm a Devin Haney guy. 7 world champions on his resume. That's more than a lot of these guys. My whole point was Max Kellerman calling Ryan Garcia a 4 king. Get your ass out of here. What? Johnny, did you say Padley knockout in boots and it's over 7? Yeah. Jinru. Don't go too heavy on it, and I'm not going to make it official, but I'm liking it. That's what I have right here. So that's the, if you see this on the screen, Padley knockout 450, Ennis over $1.83. You put those on the same ticket. It's a nice little return. I'm going to probably ride with that one. Brendan, wild work. I can see world-class amateur Haney beating 2 out-of-shape Douglas Sandman at the same day, though, man. That's crazy work. Back to whoever said earlier, nobody fights anybody good in their first 10 fights. That statement was never more true than what we just found. Devin Haney, dude, and to even put those on box rec is crazy because, I remember when I did a little mini documentary on Pritchard Colon. And when I was doing Pritchard Colon's study, this is before YouTube. So I got my first boxing channel, guys, banned from YouTube. This would have been in like 2020 during the pandemic. And I had built it up, almost 10,000 subs. And at the time, the copyright laws were like, as long as you don't use fight footage, they were different. And so I used to do these videos and you never saw my face. I was just doing voiceover, and I was storytelling about fighters, their career, what happened to the fighter. And when I was doing Pritchard Cologne, I realized that one of the things that never gets spoken about, familiar with whom I'm talking about. Pritchard Cologne was the young Puerto Rican prospect, top rank, optically ticked all the boxes. You know, he had star written all over him. And, you know, he fights a guy, and, you know, it's remembered for the rapid punches. Like, I think if you count, I think over 70 of them. And then it goes to a decision, and he loses his first decision. He loses his first fight, goes to the locker room, loses consciousness in the back, gets rushed to the hospital, and then his whole life changed. They had to do emergency brain surgery, swelling on the brain, and now he's been literally, you know, it's horrible. It's horrible. But my point was this. When I was doing tape, because we're talking about activity, when I was doing research on telling the story on Pritchard Cologne, and you go to his activity, you go to his box rec. Yeah, and I'm not going to bring up the photo. I don't like how they do that before and after. It hurts me to even. This is one of the saddest stories in boxing. But you look at his activity. So Terrell Williams, he fought Terrell Williams October 15th, right? But then he had fought in August and September. So he was doing month fights up leading up to the Terrell Williams fight. He did it twice before. This was his third time. So this was his third fight in 3 months. He fought August 15th, September 15th, October 15th. And as you could tell, this was kind of like what they were doing. They were fast tracking him. So he would do three, and he did it up. This is how he was doing. He was fighting every month, and then he would take 3 months off, and then he would fight 3 fights in 3 months, and he'd take 3 months off. And it was kind of their system, right? But what was happening is as he was growing into his physique and growing into his body, the weight cut was killing him. He was fighting he was a super welterweight. You know, he's fighting at 154, and he was having to cut weight multiple times within a month. And so we know when you're cutting weight multiple times within a month, you're getting dehydrated. You're getting dehydrated. One of the things when we're getting dehydrated, we lose sort of the fluid around our brain that gets dehydrated as well, and then we become more susceptible. We have less protection in our skull, in our brain. And it was one of those things that nobody was keeping an eye on. His handlers were doing. It's a very old school way to fight once a month, but he was cutting a lot of weight, and he was dehydrated. And it's just one of those things. When I see Devin Haney's box rec, and he has 2 fights in the same day, it's like you got to do this one. Or when we were young, did you guys ever have that? When we were kids in school, man, and the teachers are yelling at you, boy, and you're in your seat, you're like 9, and you're sitting next to your boy, you just got caught cheating or something, you got caught talking, and they're yelling at you. My boys would be like this. That look. That's the look when I see Devin Haney's resume. It's like 2 fights in 1 day is insane. Guys, I'm gonna lock it up. Appreciate you, boys. We're back on track with 2 live streams a day. Tomorrow's my Friday morning. We got 2 live streams coming.